not try to be morbid here, but I have had over the years people that I know who, once selling their business, actually committed suicide.
Oh my God.
Ladies and gentlemen, get ready for an exciting edition of Sunny Silver Linings. Joining us today is none other than the mastermind behind IT Valuations, the one and only Reed Warren. A true maverick in his field, Reed is not only a certified valuation analyst, but also an accomplished author. In this riveting episode, we're going to go deep into Reed's awe-inspiring journey to the top of his profession. But that's not all. Get ready to discover the many details of selling your business and the insider secrets to maximizing its value. Your host, Sunny Kayla, founder and CEO of IT by Design, leads the charge in this exciting conversation. If you enjoy content like this, be sure to subscribe, like, and share. So sit tight, buckle up, and let's get this show on the road. Over to you, Sunny.
Hi, Reed. Welcome to the show.
Thanks, Sonny. Great to see you again.
Great to see you too, my friend. We have been meeting at different channel events for many, many years. And finally, we are having the opportunity to have a conversation on Sunny Silver Linings and sharing our silver linings with the channel so that we can add value to our channel friends.
Absolutely.
So I want to start today with your journey, Reed. You have so much experience in the channel. So can you please share your career journey to give us some perspectives on your kind of career background?
Thanks, Sonny. And actually, I think it was 2018 at the Big is when you and I first met and first had some initial conversations. And it was great seeing you there and then also at IT Nation throughout the years. So it's been a great journey with you as I've watched just the way things unfold for IT by Design, going through that, and love the project you kicked off with Build It. But yeah, getting back to it, I mean, I started out in the early 90s. Actually, I started in the 80s as a software programmer. Taught myself how to program when I was a kid, taught myself BASIC and then Pascal and then COBOL, and launched in the early 90s doing actually C Unix development on AS400s. Not to totally date my background, but, in the early years, just kind of did everything, right? And so I ended up working kind of as a programmer, but then the company needed that I was working for, it's like, hey, we're going to build out a token ring network. That was really cool stuff. So I'm like pulling cables and like, sure, I'll do that. Why not? And so my whole career since the early years has been in technology space. And so opted to move into project management, became a project manager for the company I was working for. And then one of the sales guys said, hey, I need help convincing a client on what we should do. And so I said, great, I'll go with you. He came back and said, you got some sales kind of charisma. So maybe you could do like a sales engineer role. And that led me into about 9 years in sales, 4 years as a kind of a sales guy, and then 5 years as vice president of sales, and then a short stint into operations. And I thought M&A was going to be like this, super logical, very mathematical, very algorithmic financial perspective on buying companies. And boy, was I wrong. Got into it, and it is without a doubt probably the most emotional decision any CEO makes, is selling their business. And just really over the next 15 years to today, that's been the backbone of what we do. Today, IT Valuations will do 80 to 120 valuations a year, 3 to 5 what I would call true merger projects, and then we'll do anywhere between 5 and 8 transactions in a year. Most of our clients, probably 60+%, are going to be infrastructure managed services firms. About 25 or 20% of our clients are going to be what I call systems integrators, like Microsoft Dynamics, NetSuite, Salesforce. One of the things that I love, and it kind of really fits my personality, I really enjoy doing, is the fact you're part CPA, because we do a lot of financial analysis work. We are certified valuation analysts. We're one of the only M&A shops in this space that are certified valuation analysts. We're certified by NACBA, the National Association of Certified Valuators and Analysts. We're part psychologists in that sense too, because really as people come through this journey of selling their business, a lot of that emotion comes to bear, and so much, especially if you've been a CEO a long time. And so as much as you go, hey, I'm excited about selling, I'm ready to move on to the next stage, people have this kind of moment of self-realization about 3 weeks before close, and they go, do I really want to do this? And, we compare it a lot to marriage in that sense. It's like, hey, it's like getting that cold feet just before getting up to the altar and committing your life to your spouse, right? When you look at that, a lot of that same thing, you can be excited about this thing. And then there just comes this moment where it's like, who am I without my business? And I don't know who I am without my business. I've been the technology guy for so long. And and just helping people process that. It's an important hurdle to work through. All sort of the fun elements that happen with M&A.
Yeah. No, so your background is technical, where you started, and I think there's that commonality. Like I started with Fortran
Yeah.
and all those languages back then, what used to be there. And I never knew that I'm going to start doing what I'm doing today. So I think one lesson that I'm taking from there or takeaway is you can be anything in life. You can be a technical person and kind of, you just need to be able to work hard, work smart, have bigger dreams, be a good kind of human being every day, better version of yourself, but you can achieve anything. You guys have done a wonderful job building your reputation, building your brand. It gives you that very strategic advantage to help entrepreneurs, because entrepreneurs are not easy to deal with. When it comes to their ego, it comes to their calendar.
No.
Because I'm one of them, right? So
Yes, you are.
I can say this because I can talk about myself. So I want to go to my next question. I can continue on with my understanding of the channel and what I see as top challenges or top takeaways. But I want to hear from you. What are your top 3 lessons learned in this channel that you would like to share with our audience today?
Yeah, no, I appreciate that. And a couple of things just coming off your comments there. I mean, so much of what makes an entrepreneur is their ability to pivot and see opportunity and change, right? And I definitely fall into that category. I set out as a programmer. It's like, hey, I had the opportunity to move into sales, and what could go wrong? A lot of stuff went wrong, but you can always come back to things. And I think when you look at people developing, as most MSP owners didn't set out to be CEOs. They loved the technology, they loved the program, and they loved being able to walk in and help their customers transform, solve problems. So it really grew out of a passion and fascination, interest that they had. And then they find themselves down the road going, hey, one customer liked it. I started building and I needed more help. So I hired somebody, and then I had 4 customers and I hired some more people. And next thing you know, I can't really do what I love doing. I'm now running a company. And what does that mean? And what does that look like?
There's one more thing, Reed. One more thing, just to add. So sorry to interrupt that flow. And then somewhere in the first 2 to 3 years, they involve their family as well.
Yes. Well, that is the case. And you guys have, and actually, if I can just digress for a moment, Sonny, you and Cam have been amazing to watch because you guys have worked together so well. Number one reason why valuations are done is for marital dissolution, right? And so the reality with that is there's a lot of spouses working in the business, and the relationship with business stress tends to fall apart. And it is what it is. I'm not here to comment on that, but you and Cam have done just such a great job working together, preserving your marriage as you go through it. But, coming back to your question really about the 3 things, that's kind of takeaway number 2 was financially ready. But the first one is just emotional ready. When you think about getting ready to sell your business, I think it's one of the things that people are least prepared for. A lot of times they've gotten tired of doing what they're doing. I'm tired of the long hours because, hey, running a business, it's a lot of work, and I'm working 40 hours a week in the business. And then on the weekend, I'm trying to catch up and do, the accounting and the bookkeeping and whatever those other things are that are on the business, and trying to have some, fun with family. And it is a big stress and a big strain, and it does take a lot out of you as an individual. And so most of the time when people come to us and they're saying, hey, I'm thinking about selling, most of it's from a pretty heavily fatigued point of view. They're tired of the journey. And it's fascinating as we go through the journey. When you sell the business, it's not an end of the journey. It's actually the beginning of the next segment of the journey, and really defining that thoroughly and accurately for yourself, so that when you move into it, you're actually ready for it. And we run into this quite a bit where, and I'm not trying to be morbid here, but I have had over the years, not direct clients, but people that I know who want selling their business actually committed suicide.
Oh my God.
I have two former clients that committed suicide afterwards, just because it was their identity. Probably 80+% of the transactions that were involved in, owners actually go through a period of depression after selling their business. And it's a natural response to having worked a long time in a place. So I'm not trying to say be alarmist with it, but it is something that people really do struggle with as they go through. Their identity has become woven in their business. And so a lot of that's just going to come back to that, just really being prepared. starting to look through it and not look at it as an end of something, but really a transition into the next thing, and making sure, regardless what it is, that there's meaning, purpose, and vitality there that's going to carry that emotional element to it. And I've seen people go through that really well, and I've seen a lot of people struggle with it.
Yeah, that's very, very powerful what you just shared, Reed. Even like I think about my business, right? So the biggest thing that I get out of my business is my freedom of purpose, that I can do what I really want to do, like my life purpose. What gives me energy to get up every day and deal with so much uncertainty out there as a business owner is my purpose. The way I had so many different options to grow the IT by design even more accelerated way. So far, we never borrowed any penny from anyone. Recently, like from last couple of years, where I became very intentional, Reed, was like looking at our partners, talking to them. We go take them for a retreat or other things. When you go into deeper conversations and you get to realize what you were talking about, that what are their struggles? We all have our struggles, but in this case, like, someone who started the business where they wanted to be their own boss and run business. And now you get to realize after spending a day or 2 days with them is that business is running them and their life. And the freedom that they wanted to have by having a business, it feels like a jail for them. And there's just so many struggles that small business owners can go through. But now let's talk about what can be done, right? So what our audience can take. What is that actionable advice that you have for our MSP friends so they keep their freedom that they wanted being an entrepreneur, but they are able to have quality life and manage the outcome really well?
Right. Really good question, Sonny, on that. And I would just say there's a couple of things, and I'm going through it. You're going, you're farther, I think, along on the journey than I am. But really, when I think about IT valuations, first of all, for all of us, you are going to exit your business at some point. You're going to sell. Yeah. I hate to break it to you. You're going to either sell to your team, you're going to sell to your children, you're going to sell it to somebody else. You can't take it with you, right? Yeah. And so much of being emotionally ready, financially ready, operationally ready, we really haven't touched on the last two that much, but this is one I really want to get home on the emotional readiness part, because it's the one probably talked about least, and it has critical life impact to it, is you got to start that transition early. And so for me, and just like with you, it is about raising up people behind me and passing on 30 years of my learning experience into them, and really investing in a team that's going to pick up the ball. My intent with IT Valuations is actually to turn it over to my team. Really, you start to get to this place that I've got to transfer this knowledge, I've got to transfer the work, I've got to transfer the experience. And that's where a big piece of it starts, that's going to carry them forward. What are those guiding principles? When that point comes where I transition IT valuation, when that point comes, Sonny, when you transition IT by design, it doesn't stop your mission. Your mission just changes a bit. I'm still going to be investing in people. You've got to find that connection on the purpose front that says, hey, I know my purpose has been to meet the technology needs of my customers with providing high quality service. You're right. When the business ends, I'm not going to be doing that. But in the end, what you were doing with all of your clients is you were investing in those relationships. How can you continue to invest in a different set or a similar set of relationships without the business sell? It really comes back to that purpose perspective of going, as I look to sell my business, part of being emotional ready is going, hey, what is my purpose going to be in my next place? Who are the people I'm going to invest in? Be strategic about that and lay out just a clear plan for being able to move into that, because as you go through that whole journey.
Yeah, that's beautiful. It's like, my purpose is really impacting 1 million plus people positively during my life journey.
Cool.
Where I'm a plus for them, and I'm going to figure out ways to do it. We will all have to exit this earth. Right. So we got to have exit plan. And that means, so when I'm thinking about my exit plan, I'm like, I will never retire. That's one thing I know. I don't want to lose the opportunity to impact people that I'm directly impacting, because we're building a community at work, and that community I can serve, my family, my community at work. At the end of the day, I just want to serve human beings. And if I can create that overall value prop for other human beings, That's how I feel. I'm like, I can create this, which I created here at ITBD, and that's what's making us expand much faster organically because we are investing in our people, our leaders, and really investing in their life plans. So any other advice before we go for our MSP friends in terms of their preparedness for their exit?
Just two other things I would just add to it. One of the things I did at IT Valuations, I would encourage every CEO to do. You will hit a point where you become less relevant as you get older. I would recommend a self-imposed, I've done it for IT Valuations. I will be out of the CEO chair by the time I am 65. It is the best thing for IT Valuations that I no longer be the guy driving that forward. For all of you, as you're preparing, be prepared and plan your exit and force yourself to exit, first of all. Second of all, it is your greatest asset and you need to be financially prepared. If you're not prepared, you're going to find that your silent partner, the U.S. government, is going to get a big chunk of that change if you haven't taken really good steps to make sure that transition happens smoothly. A lot of that just being financially ready and then operational ready is just making sure that you have good policies, procedures in place so that the buyer who picks up the business or the individuals you transfer the business to are able to keep running it because of those operational procedures that you've put into place that ensure, think of it, a recipe and a cook, having a really good recipe that guarantees a really good meal that your customers every time just love to keep coming back and consuming. And so really building out those recipes, those operational procedures to make sure that the business values get delivered with effectiveness and you can retain that high customer satisfaction.
Thank you so much, Reed. That's a lot of very, very futuristic kind of view and the information that we got today for 2023. So thank you so much, Reed, for coming to my show and sharing your experience. And I appreciate you.
Thank you so much, Sonny. I really appreciate it. Looking forward to seeing you at Build It 2023.
Yeah.
Thank you for watching Sunny's Silver Linings. Don't forget to like, share, and subscribe. See you next time.